I had to turn sideways.
All right, guys, welcome to the American Whiskey Podcast. Today we're going to be sitting down with the one and only John Bentz. A lot of you may know John either in the community here in Middleport or maybe watching the Discovery show, Masters Distiller. He was season
4, episode 6.
But John is a dear friend of me and of the American Whiskey Podcast, and we've really enjoyed our friendship with you, John, and we're really excited for you. I know you got a lot of big plans ahead of you and a lot of big goals. And today I just want to focus on you. And, I want to dive in first talking about the show, the Master Distiller show. And what was the name of the episode?
So the name of the episode was Firehouse Flame Out. It's where 3 firemen go against each other, in the battle. Might as well say battle royale, where you ferment and then you run your first run, you run your second run, and you flavor out.
Now, when I love this show. My son loves one of his favorite episodes is you, but just not the last round.
Yeah,
I should have won that. But I wanted to break down each. Was there 3 segments, kind of?
Yep.
I kind of want to start from the beginning until that last round. What was it like? What was each round like? I talked to you before and you said it was hours and hours of footage, but you only see about 40 minutes of it all?
Yeah, about 30, 40 minutes. Yeah.
So break each segment down. How long did each segment go? And what was the goals of each segment?
Well, first off, we was there for our episode, we was there for like 27 days total. One day they had us come in, they had us mash in, and that was the first day. Then after that, you came in for an interview. So you drive 10, 15 minutes in just to sit there for about 2 hours and then do an interview that took 5 minutes. A couple times you went there and you were supposed to do something, you didn't do anything. But, they had us come in for that. They had us come in to film for the next interview. After that interview, we had to come in and we had to do our first run. And first run, there was actually some hiccups with everything, and they took us over to Adventure Distilling. We ran liquor over there to Adventure Distilling in the back room, and we was running about 110 degrees in the back room. So it was pretty brutal for most. But, I mean, we've had a lot of 100-degree days here. Plus, as firefighters, we go into hot houses all the time anyway.
So you guys were, you hate to say used to it, but kind of.
In a way. I mean, they did take care of us real well when we was in that hot weather. They added an air conditioner after we left, but it still didn't, when we come back for our next run, it still didn't do anything. But they was giving us hydration shots. So you go in, you get a little red Solo cup about the size of a shot glass that tasted like pure salt water. Drink it before you went in. You couldn't go in unless you drank it. Then after that, we sat for several days again, just waiting. Luckily for me, because blueberries take so long to ferment out, luckily for me, that worked out in my favor. Did a second distillation. They couldn't use their mash because, it set too long. Mm-hmm. They both did corn, and I was able to use my mash because it had just finished, ferment and coming to a dry ferment. Yeah. So I was able to use my mash. First round I took. Second round, I say I took, but they don't really say a winner on the second round. From there, we went into the flavor round, and the flavor round, I swung the bat at what I normally do, and with only having a half-hour time frame, it was rough. So I would like to say mine was cool enough for my alcohol to take over. They said it was a little low on proof, but, it seemed to be right up there.
Well, and I think even at that last round, the goal is flavor, not necessarily proof, in my opinion, right? That was an interesting last round. the guy that won, what was his name?
Mike.
Yeah, it was just because it seemed like if you talk to my son, he says the John Bentz won because you see that first round and how you definitely won that first round. I think the second round you seemed a little, maybe you didn't win that, but I would say you took the second round.
I would say that I did, but like I said, they don't announce a winner. I know in the past I was told that the other guy thought he won too, because they don't announce a winner. So either way, I mean,
they just announce who goes home.
We both got to keep moving forward.
So when you go back and you look at your time on this show, was there anything that you learned, or maybe better yet, was there something that you took away from this show, something positive that you could share with everybody?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be where I'm sitting at today, or I don't think I'd be where I'm sitting out today without the show. Getting ready to open up a distillery, go fully legal. Also, to note the friendships. I've met a lot of people through it. I talk to you guys almost daily, if not daily, a couple times a day.
Yeah, me and John are definitely on the speed dial.
Wild Bill and Rachel, I talk to them a lot. Devon Graham, Roger Dingy. I talk to a lot of people daily, and I think a lot of that did have to do with it, just because that kind of introduced us a little bit. But I mean, it'd probably be the friendships and then moving in this direction that we're moving in now.
I thought it was kind of cool when we were down in Gatlinburg. Was Digger was there?
Yep.
One of the coolest things I saw was when he looked at you. I was kind of thrown away, a little starstruck myself, because I had never met him. I've only seen him on TV. But he said, "Hey, how you doing, John?" And I was like, to me, that was just, I was like, he knows you by looking at you. So that's kind of cool too. But my question, I even kind of asked you this multiple different times, but for everyone else, is that something you would go back on if they reached out to you? You see some of these moonshine distillers go and get another chance or something. Is that something that you would be willing to do, or are you moving on, or how do you feel about that?
Well, I'm definitely moving on. We're opening up. We're having to devote more time here. You might as well say I work 6 jobs anyway, plus here. So I'm definitely moving on. But at the fact, if I was given another shot, I go down and do it, and not really just for the win. I mean, it'd be nice to validate it, but I mean, as you see what we got going on here today, I really don't need to validate it. Meet more people, learn different little tricks from each person.
But I think, you don't have to validate it, but, you're a competitive guy, and it would be nice to see you get back on there and get another chance at going home as the winner. But I mean, you make some of the best brandy that, anyone's ever had. So, I mean, as far as validating yourself, that's never going to have to happen. You know what I mean? So, you're one of the best guys I've ever known, and you make some of the best damn liquor I've ever had. So, not that I would know, he doesn't make liquor illegally. So, but let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about today. Us boys saw you were opening this up to the public. You didn't invite us or anything, but just as much as us, we like to support our brothers. So I got a hold of you and I said, "Hey, can we come set up and film your run?" Of course, you said yeah. But what was the goal of today? You're not able to sell your liquor right now, but you're able to run it. You're able to store it. I would guess you run it to store it. Mm-hmm. But what was the goal to opening it up to the public today? And we saw people coming in from the public, and it was really cool today to see you interacting with them, and they had questions. But take all of that in perspective and tell us, what was the ultimate goal of doing that?
So the ultimate goal was to get people into the building. This used to be, an iconic bar for the area anyway. There's a lot of people excited about it opening back up. They don't know exactly what I'm doing. Some people do. Middleport did put out a newsletter. I did share that on Facebook. they put out a newsletter saying what we're going to be doing here, but a lot of people's never seen a still run. So it was really about bringing people in, inviting them in, letting them see a still run, letting them to see, a lot of people think, oh, moonshine, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
It can be. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But with the safeties and the electric and the,
Yeah, I mean, you look
everything
here,
that's on here.
You look at this, technically, if you don't know what you're doing, let's say you just cut this right off right now. It could be a bomb. It could, if you don't do it right, you've got a ticking time bomb right here. But Tracy Bumgardner is the one that built this.
Yep, Tracy with Ace Custom Copper. Yep.
We know everything's safe. And if you know what you're doing and you learn, it can be a safe hobby. I would say a hobby, not for just, it's more than a hobby for you now. But, it definitely can be dangerous. I've had to call John a few times. John, it's making a weird noise. But, when it comes down to it, you just wanted people to come down here and have an opportunity to see a still run, and a 150-gallon one at that, which is, I would say, the biggest one before yours. The biggest one I saw was 50-gallon. So that day when we were down here for the moonshine release, when they pulled that, I didn't think they were going to get in the door.
Yeah, it definitely shocked me on the size of it.
I was struck, dude. I could not believe how, and to be honest, Tracy did a beautiful job on this still. I think this is something you can be really proud of. And I'm going to get Dylan and Levi. They're going to come get this computer and move the camera up here. I'd like to show off this worm dripping. But while they're working on doing that, I had a couple messages today. People knew that we were down here. They're wanting to know, do you have a goal in mind of the opening date for Firehouse Shine?
Well, originally we had a date of wanting to be open by late fall last year. Couple surgeries and a lot of remodel, which some of it still ain't done. But with everything going on and finally getting federally approved, now we're getting we're trying back and forth with the state.
Yeah.
I'm hoping, springtime, which ain't very far away. But, we're just playing the ball game right now.
You got the paperwork in there. Now, anybody that's listening right now, give me 1 second, Dylan. Here in a second. Or we're going to show, the boys are going to show you guys off the still. But anybody listening right now, John's put a lot of work. Him and his lovely wife have put in a lot of work in this building. They transformed this building. The state's taking a little time. I think we can start harassing the state a little bit about making this a thing. I told you I'm going to start making posts. Let's try to get this thing pushed through because you deserve it. Your wife deserves it. You guys put a lot of work in this, and you put a hell of a lot of time into crafting this, man. And it's something you should be super proud of. I was so amazed by this place, dude. We did my I think it was the first day that this was open to the anywhere was when we did the Ohio Moonshine release. Yep. And what an incredible moment to come in here and just share that moment with you, dude. I'll take that to the grave as top 5 things I've ever done was enjoying that time where we could get together. So we're going to have a lot of that, right? There's going to be a lot of people that are going to walk in here and they're going to be dumbfounded by this place. It's going to be an incredible thing. So get your heads out of your asses, state, and get this man his state license so he can get selling to the public. Now, I want to get a little personal. John, I know you pretty well, but you're my son's eye. He looks at you as a hero, but I want to get a little personal, and I want you to open up a little bit. I want you to tell people, who is John Bentz? What made John Bentz? How did you get to where you're at today?
Well, I could go through the spiel of, I'm John Bentz and I work at and blah, blah, blah. But so basically, I work my tail off. I go to work 5 days a week for a restaurant. After I get off work, I turn around, I go to a car wash lots of times, and then I'm back here at the building I won't even call it a building anymore. I'm back here at the distillery. I'm either mashing in or doing a few things as far as, running liquor or even sweeping up the floors or painting something. A lot of this stuff, when we got this building, it was basically a shell. So it was very, very important to get that into it and get basically who I am into it. That's why we went with the firefighter theme. I'm a lieutenant with our fire station. Been there for 6 years this year with our station. And also got several years in through others, almost a total of 11. So I got 17 years in. I'm the type that if someone needs something, going to run out and do it. I've pulled cars out of ditches, I've, the afraid not still. Between that and the auction, we raised $10,000 here for down south. So that's the kind of person I am. That's what we're wanting to entail into our business as well. When you buy a jar of our shine, not really the blueberry shine, but this jar here behind me. When you buy this jar is 555. Y'all can look that up and see what that means. But 555, it has something to do with the funerals, the last calls of firefighters. So that is actually a barrel-aged moonshine, and it's red, white, and blue corn. Also got some caramelized malted barley in it. I won't go into everything with it, but that's actually sitting in a barrel back here behind us, aging right now. When this comes out and we start distilling this and getting it aged and everything, this will be one of our bottles that a certain percentage will go actually to the Fallen Firefighters Foundation. So that's, like I said, that's part of who I am.
Now, John, what are some other jars that, was it the one that was 107?
Yes, that's at 555.
Yeah, okay. That's at the 107 proof. Now, what are some other jars that you've got that, have meaning behind it?
So
planning on coming out with
that 555, that's pretty much the top meaningful jar to me. The 107 actually was because of a buddy of ours, a colleague, a brother, passed away from rolling the fire truck. So I used his unit number as the proof for it. So 107's his unit number. That's where that falls in. And then that's why we also went with the 555. So that's, a tribute jar not only to him, but all the other fallen firefighters. And then we've got the Bentz's Blueberry Moonshine that, I've seen people try to imitate it and try to do it. Everybody makes, moonshine.
They don't make that.
I won't say everybody makes a blueberry moonshine. There's other people out there making it. I'm not the only one. But that was what I made on Master Distiller. And that's going to be one of ours available here. So
that's going to be sold as a clear. You're not going to barrel age that right now?
As of right now, it's going to be sold as clear only.
Now, John, come back around here real fast. I want to say thank you for letting us come over here today and do this. I know this thing's really important to you. And, I thank you and your wife both. And I want you to know American Whiskey stands by you. You're a brother to us. You're not just a friend. You're a brother to us. And we love you, man. And we're rooting for you. We're really, really excited. And everything that he does, is, sorry, someone's trying to talk to me over there. So everything that he does is for other people. So you were talking about the Afraid Not thing. And, we all came together and put something together that was probably never going to really happen. I mean, that's a really crazy thing that happened that night. Raised $10,000. And, Dylan wasn't here, but you were working that night.
I watched
And he watched every bit of it and just couldn't believe what was going on. Then Fred and I, we raffled that still multiple times. But Justice, did you have something to add?
No, I wanted you to bring it up.
Oh yeah, okay. Now I got what I'm saying. So in honor,
so people can see.
Yeah. So in honor of our close friends, American Whiskey will now be. We will not going to just have our logo. We're going to have Burnout Winery on the one sleeve, who's our family, and you're going to be on our other sleeve. So every shirt that we print now will have your logo and Burnout Winery's logo on it, because this thing wouldn't be possible without you. Wouldn't be possible without Burnout Winery, and that's just a tribute to you, because we love you. We love you, man. And can we get that camera over on the other side? Show out Ohio Moonshine. This is what it's all about in the Ohio Moonshine. Dylan, can you help him out for a second?
It's on the other side. Yeah, you're going to have to move the computer.
That's what it'll look like, John. So we'll put that right there. Help him out there. Help him. He's got it, Johnny. John, sit back down, boy. Dylan's got it. So can you see it? So that's the Ohio Moonshine. I released a song, and it was called Ohio Moonshine. And Tracy Bumgardner put that on there, right?
Yes.
He engraved that on there, and that's part of his actual. I guess that's a still license, or what do you call that?
That is when you commission a still, you got to put a serial number on them. So we've got 3 stills here. We've got the big 150. We've got a 15, and then we got a 1.5. And there's a story behind those, because this one here is done by Tracy. The 15 is done by Chris, which works for Tracy. And then the 1.5 is done by Chris's son,
who's 10
years old.
10 years old.
And all of them is a 1/10 of the size of the other. So it makes a good test still.
Yeah. I'm going to have John. One more thing before we get off here. By the way, we'll get you a shirt. Once so yours was done, but I didn't get a chance to go pick it up. So, but why don't you walk around, talk about these stills, and especially get the one the little man made over here. Talk about those stills. So, John's going to take you guys around to show you 2 of the test stills in this site, and maybe show them the bar and a couple of other locations in here.
Okay. So we got the 15-gallon. It's made identical to the 150. Other than today, because what we're running on the brandy arm. I can actually take this one. I got the 45 per up here, and I can run it down, and I can bypass the thumper, go straight to the worm, and run it just like what we're running there today. This one's built by Chris, which works for Tracy. Chris did an excellent job on it. It's also got the Ohio Moonshine over here, MFD 10 for the serial number, because that's our station number. Just a beautiful piece, works well. I think it's been ran 1 time as a test so far. And, definitely if anybody needed one, whether it's this size, the little one out there, the big one, I'd go back and get one from them any day. But, it's just an identical version of the 150. We've got the 1.5 out here. It's out here at the bar.
That's okay.
So right here we got the 1.5 gallon. There's that 45-degree brandy arm I was talking about. Now, I do have the regular 90. I just had it set up like this because I was messing with it. Identical, once again, to the 150 and identical to the 15. And this was built by a 10-year-old, guys. Some of the best solder job I've seen on a lot of stills. And for a 10-year-old to be doing it, that's pretty awesome. So that's our 3 stills. We do have, a couple barrels here and there. We've got stainless barrel we're going to be storing in, stuff like that. But other than that, that's our equipment. we do have the bar out here. And the bar, you know, was given to me by a guy in Charleston that was going out of business. So we went down and picked it up. And we've done a lot of work in here. We've done from wrapping the walls all with metal, putting the bar in, a lot of paint, doing the, I don't know if you call that wainscoting or what, but shiplap, that's the word. We've got the stuff for Kevin that passed away up there. We've got a few plaques hanging and some bottles from some friends, some legal bottles from them. So the other thing I'll end with is show you guys some of the merchandise. And we don't have a lot because we had a lot of shows last year. Just kind of what we have left over and a few things I whipped up today. But we've got some flask and some wine tumblers. We got regular glasses underneath of it or tumblers underneath of it. We've got rocks glasses, which looks really good with bourbon in them.
Now you're gonna have to show them that homemade still on the top, boss.
Yeah. So we do all of the actual everything on here, I guess I'll say, other than the t-shirts ourselves. Everything's made right here in house in the office. Got the laser engraver. So say, you know, Sturg wants this nice pink wine tumbler here. I can actually take it back in and I can put the stuff on the bottom of it, and then I can put the name on it right there.
What kind of wine would go well in that? Do you have any company names that you would suggest?
Well, you got Burnout Winery. I mean, that's a nurse, and you got the child care. I mean, they're
look at John making wine tumblers. That's the kind of man he is, man. It's not just all about the moonshine, but it's a lot about it. So, John, now this commission still up top?
No, that's for decoration only. That's when I first started several years ago.
That's my favorite still in the house, though.
It's really ugly, but it's functional.
It's a functional still, right, boss?
Yep.
All right, guys. So again, this is John Bentz. I appreciate it, brother.
Thank
we
you,
love
guys.
you, man. We'll be by their side the whole road. So we're ready for the state to do their job. So if you want to do, I mean, there's not a whole lot of.
I mean,
right
you
now.
can just scan.
Yeah, you can do a little scan around real quick, and then guys, we appreciate it. This is the interview with John Master. I call you Master Distiller John Bentz, but people might get a little mad by that, but oh well. So I appreciate it, buddy. And I'm Big Sturg.
I'm John Bentz.
And we're interviewing
Firehouse Shine.
Love you guys. Peace.